Hey, what's up guys? Rolly Rods here, and today we're talking about Ret Paladin. If you didn't see, Blizzard made a blue post this week talking about some talent changes, and we're just not happy about them. But we're gonna go over all of them right now. Let's get into it. Our first one we're going to be looking at is Blessing of Spellwarding. Blessing of Spellwarding is now a Protection Paladin only talent, located as a choice node with Improve Ardent Defender. Additionally, Blessing of Spellwarding no longer replaces Blessing of Protection and now shares its cooldown with Blessing of Protection. Talents that reduce the cooldown of Blessing of Protection will also affect Blessing of Spellwarding. It's nice that you can use Spellwarding and Bop, whereas before you had to do Spellwarding or Bop. They share cooldown, but I think it's a good change. The bad is that Improved Ardent Defender is really good for prot paladins. I'm not going to go into details, but the fact that they have to give that up to get Spellwarding, it's just lame, man. The big one for us, obviously, is that Ret loses access to Spellwarding. This is a huge hit to our utility and one that I just think Blizzard needs to reverse. As a paladin, our value comes from our utility. We're not the biggest pumpers, we're not the tankiest tanks, and from my understanding with Holy is that we're not topping the heal meters. I really would like to see this reversed by Blizzard. It just feels like it came out of left field on why they removed this from us. All right, now we're gonna get into the talent changes. Developers note, playtesting has revealed that the new combination of talents in the Retribution tree has flooded the spec with Holy Power. As a result, we're reducing the frequency of some talents with a change to grant Holy Power and repositioning Zeal to compete against Fires of Justice. Zeal and Imperium Power have swapped places in the Retribution talent tree. I, for one, am offended by this one. Where Zeal was before, which is right here where Imperium Power is now, it felt good. It felt the Divine Storm was kind of weird that, you know, you had to get that into Judgment, but I mean, Improved Judgment into Zeal into High Lord Judgment, it felt really good. And I feel like this, like these three feeding into each other made sense. Now there's a random Imperium Power here, and Zeal and Fires of Justice leading into Tempest of the Lightbringer. It just made sense for Imperium Power to lead into Tempest of the Lightbringer. I don't think anybody argued that. And Zeal leading into, you know, High Lord's Judgment or Righteous Verdict, I thought that was fine. I thought that Zeal and Imperium Power were in the right places. I think Zeal leading into Righteous Verdict and High Lord's Judgment, I thought that felt fine. I think Imperium Power leading into Tempest of the Lightbringer just makes total sense. I think if anything, a change that actually might help this out is moving Tempest of the Lightbringer and Righteous Verdict, swapping those, and Righteous Verdict leading down into Templar's Vindication, because this was super single target heavy and this is feeling more AoE. You know, now what it is, Imperium Power, which is a AoE choice, you have to take this AoE choice in order to get this single target choice. And now Zeal, which is arguably more single target, is leading into Tempest of the Lightbringer. That it just doesn't make sense. An AoE ability leading into an empowered version of that AoE ability, it just makes sense. Blade of Wrath. All right, so this is probably going to be the biggest DPS change for us, and it's going to change some of our other interactions as well. Blade of Wrath. Art of War resets the cooldown of Blade of Justice 50% more often, was 100%. So with Art of War proccing less now with Blade of Wrath, that makes Ashes to Dust a little less valuable. That also makes our Ashes to Ashes a little less valuable. Now, I don't think you stop taking Ashes to Ashes. I think this is, you still take Ashes to Ashes. I'll do some more testing and I'll report back, but I think what this does is it opens up the door for Radiant Decree. Radiant Decree. Radiant Decree hits harder than our Final Verdicts, and it's an AoE, and it's on a 15-second cooldown. I think Radiant Decree is now the de facto choice here with the Blade of Wrath nerf. I think too, Consecrated Blade now also loses a little value. It's not going to be proccing as much, so if you had that anywhere, I am probably just going to, anytime I talented into this, I'm probably just going to automatically send it to Divine Resonance now. I think you could put it into Improved Crusader Strike. Again, I think Crusader Strike needs a buff or something, but now that Imperium Power is kind of, we're always going to have Imperium Power, it makes sense to try and proc it a little more for extra damage. Overall, not the biggest nerf, but it could be worse. Final Verdict, chance to activate Hammer of Wrath is now 10%, was 15%. I don't think this is a huge hit. Like, we're still going to take Final Verdict. This is just a resource flooding thing, so 5% nerf here I don't think is too bad, but we'll test and see. Sanctification reduced the chance to generate holy power. One target 3% per tick down from 7, 2 targets 5% per tick down from 10, 3 targets 7% per tick down from 12, 4 targets 8% per tick down from 15. So this looks like a decent nerf to Sanctification. I don't think this is gonna like stop you from taking it. You know, if you're in a consecration build or an M+ build and you're trying to get holy power, you're just gonna get a little less. I don't see it as a huge nerf. With everything, we'll test it, we'll see what happens. My final thoughts on these changes, guys. Look, I'm a frustrated ret player. The nerfs or whatever, Art of War affecting Ashes to Ashes is gonna suck for sure. But to lose utility and damage, it just dooms us to not be competitive in raid and in M+. I really hope whoever the dev is in charge of that has a change of heart or fights for us to be more competitive. If you like the video, guys, please consider giving it a like. That really helps out. If you like me, please consider subscribing. And if you don't like me, let me know in the comments. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.